Oh baby, oh baby, do you know what time it is, fellow Steebs? It's rhythm game time! I'm here to sell you on Clone Hero, what was once called Guitar Hero. I don't know if you Zoomers are old enough to remember the Guitar Hero days. When it first came out, Guitar Hero was a new form of karaoke, something that was targeted toward general audiences, something that took the world by storm for a few years and then died completely. However, its legacy as a video game lives on. In Clone Hero, a free, streamlined, optimized version of Guitar Hero filled with user-generated content. And frankly, it's heaven. Let's talk about the controller first. When I'm playing Clone Hero, there is no fantasy that I am playing the guitar. I'm playing a video game. However, the unique shape of the guitar and the way that notes are hit, kinesthetics, listen. Your left hand presses or holds one of 5 fret buttons, and your strum bar strums up or down. The fact that both hands are doing different things, and yet the things that your hands do harmonize with each other, allows the game to be really complicated and advanced while still being readable. I'm sorry that I have to compare every game to every other game to get my point across. I wish it was financially feasible to experiment with more controller types, because frankly, it's an underexplored art form. It was really only done during the NES days when people were all high on pot. When Activision milked Guitar Hero into the ground and sucked its blood dry to the point where it was only a skeleton, they left behind what was one of the more readable rhythm games out there. Let's talk about the things that make Clone Hero readable as a rhythm game. I'll actually put gameplay footage on screen this time because I have some lying around. Hey yo. Measure lines. On the track, there are white lines that indicate the time between beats. There is no ambiguity of whether a note is going to be played on the beat, on the backbeat, on the offbeat, or anywhere in between, because the measure lines are there to measure it for you. That's not the game doing your work for you, that's the game giving you information that you need to know at all times. But wait a minute, look at this track. Notice how the notes start in the middle and run down near the bottom of the screen. It's a pretty small section of screen real estate. If I had to speculate, I would say that the original intent of having the track take up so little of the screen was so that players and spectators could look at the lovingly modeled, rendered, and animated 3D models on screen playing out a concert that the player is performing in. However, they accidentally just new game design. The thing is, in Guitar Hero, your eyes don't have to move at all to see everything you need to see. In something like DDR, notes travel from the very bottom of the screen near the top of the screen. You have to go a pretty long way to see where they're starting. And you don't have to do that, but you can do that. And because you can, you have to. You might think that using less of the screen would shorten the allowed reaction time of between a note appears and between a note gets played. Thankfully, the illusion of depth exists, so they do get to travel a fair way before being played. Third thing is note colors. The placement of every note on the fret bar, 1-to-1, correlates with its position on the controller, color-wise and position-wise. That's not something that most rhythm games have, surprisingly. Dance Dance Revolution has left, right, up, down, but up and down are to the left and right of each other, which creates this strange disconnect when playing. There's literally no way to reconcile this, so it's fine. It's fun to play DDR when you're actually on the mat. The last thing that makes Clone Hero quite readable as a rhythm game is its selective instrument tracking. It's right there in the name, Guitar Hero. When you boot up a song in Guitar Hero, you can expect to play the guitar part of the song. You can expect the notes themselves to correlate to the guitar strums. Not the singers, not the bass, not the... well, sometimes there is a piano solo. This is something that Elite Beat Agents actually struggles with, jumping between whatever part of the song it feels like to... because it gets bored, I guess? I don't know. It's less of a rule and more of a tool. Clone Hero songs can jump between instruments. It's simply better for them to do so in between sections of the song and not in the middle of a lot of notes. Other things I appreciate about Clone Hero is the fact that notes are either hit or not hit. There's no just okay, there's no early, there's no late, it's either you made it or you didn't. The thing about rhythm games is that they're very much about flow state, and I find it more difficult to get into a flow state when I'm fussing over the millisecond timing of my inputs in things like Rhythm Heaven Megamix and Osu, when I could just play Rhythm Heaven Fever or Guitar Hero and just vibe. it doesn't necessarily make the game easier because once again, these songs get very complicated very quickly. It simply makes it easier to get into the game. One thing I like about Clone Hero in particular, as opposed to Guitar Hero, is the fact that it is indeed indie. Back in the Guitar Hero days, their target audience was everyone, normal people. And so this was reflected in the track listing. 90% of songs were not that fun to play. I'm not a hipster contrarian, but like, you really gotta like the pop songs, the karaoke type songs that they choose in Guitar Hero to have a good time with 90% of the track listing. And also, because their target audience is normal people, they don't push the game difficulty-wise and in terms of technique as far as Clone Hero has pushed it. And thirdly, because Clone Hero doesn't pretend to be a karaoke game, they don't have to spend so much processing power rendering the performers in the crowd in the background. It's just a series of buttons on a track. The background video is just a looping MP4 that I downloaded off of the internet. The thing about 5 notes and a strum bar is that there's actually a lot of room for expression and technique in it. Kind of like playing the ocarina in Ocarina of Time, I guess. There are a few different sub-techniques you can develop in Clone Hero, such as strumming really fast with slight pauses in between, simple hammer-ons which jump from one note to the next, or complicated hammer-on patterns that jump 2 or 3 notes back and forth up and down the fretbar, trying to jump between green and orange in a single hammer-on, trying to jump between yellow, orange, and then red, yellow, blue, shit like that. It gets a little much, and I think there's beauty in that. In just the shapes and just the funny fucking patterns that the colored dots made. Oh, because Clone Hero is just like a game, like a free game you get on the internet, like no one really cares. There's not really like a fierce competition or any kind of expectation of performance, so if you feel like it, you could just turn the health bar off and just play the song as badly as you want. You can just play songs that are way too hard for you and just have fun trying, because it doesn't really matter if I succeed or fail the song. What matters is the act of playing it. That's where the fun lies. And also, if you get kicked out of the song halfway through, it's kind of hard to practice it. Ha 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 ha. Well, a system is nothing without levels to facilitate them. Thankfully, Clone Hero's musical taste coincides with my musical taste at all. It's something I'm thankful for. The most popular genres in the Clone Hero community seem to be rock, metal, jazz, fusion, with some hard electronic thrown in there as well. I'm not much of a metalhead, but I can really get behind all the other ones, so I've got lots and lots of food to eat. Eatin' good. If those genres don't sound like a good time to you, you can still find some songs here and there. But if you don't find the song you want to play, you can just chart it yourself. There's a tool called Moonscraper. It's pretty easy to use, and it only takes 5 to 10 hours to make a song. Yeah, that's kind of a long time, but you know, at least it's not 20 hours, right? If you're watching this, please chart more Michael Bowman, Will Wood, and the Family Jewel 7X Snowboard Kids guitar medleys. I can't do it because I'm too busy charting So Great and Powerful. The only thing getting in the way of players enjoying Clone Hero is its controller, ironically. These things can go anywhere from $3 to $90, or even $120. And oops, big oops. The only thing I have to say about that is please check your local thrift stores once a week until you find the white Z-shaped Explorer guitar controller for the Xbox 360. I found it at my local Mormon thrift store, and it actually didn't work. And then I bought another one from my local Mormon thrift store, and that one worked. And then I moved and left it behind and had to buy one for $90. And you know what? Worth it. Because Clone Hero is just a fucking vibe. It's a vibe that will never stop vibing. It's just infinity content. It's just pick up and play a few songs, stop at the half-hour mark. Don't forget to stop playing with Clone Hero. Don't forget to stop playing Clone Hero once you've started playing it. Oh, there's one thing. The last thing I want to say is, obviously this video is coming from a place of having played Guitar Hero since I was 13 and being really fucking good at it. I have no idea what Clone Hero would be like to play as a complete beginner and to try and learn how to play the game and to get up to expert level songs. If this video makes you do that, let me know and like tell me about your journey from beginner to master, because I think there is a path to righteousness in Clone Hero that doesn't entail the tedium that playing a regular Guitar Hero game would. If there's one piece of advice for you mid-level Guitar Hero players, it would be to rest your index finger on the red button instead of the green one, because it's a lot easier for your index finger to go from red to green than from blue to orange, your pinky finger. Touch grass, everybody! Woo!